Have you ever wondered what's for dinner? I mean, really wondered. Not just what to order, but where your food actually comes from. Today we just go to the store. But for most of human history, that wasn't an option. So what did our ancestors eat? And how did a simple change in their diet completely reshape human civilization forever? The answer is going to shock you. For nearly 200,000 years, every single human on Earth was a hunter-gatherer. Life was a constant search for food. You'd spend your days tracking animals, foraging for berries, digging for roots, and hoping you found enough to survive until tomorrow. It was tough, unpredictable, and incredibly dangerous. And here's something wild to think about. A hunter-gatherer's diet was probably healthier and more varied than ours today. They ate hundreds of different plants and animals throughout the year. No processed sugar, no trans fats, just what nature provided. But it was a fragile existence. A bad hunt or a dry season could mean starvation. Life was nomadic, always moving, always searching. There were no cities, no permanent homes, just small mobile groups of people. So, what changed? How did we go from wandering the plains to building skyscrapers? It all started with a single, tiny seed. If you're finding this fascinating, do me a huge favor and hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. It really helps the channel out. Around 12,000 years ago, something incredible happened in a region we now call the Fertile Crescent in the Middle East. People started to notice that if they dropped seeds on the ground, new plants would grow. It sounds simple to us, but this was the most important discovery in human history. This was the birth of agriculture. Instead of chasing food, humans started to grow it. They began cultivating wild grasses like wheat and barley. They weren't just picking what they found. They were actively planting, nurturing, and harvesting crops. This wasn't an overnight revolution. It was a slow, gradual process that took thousands of years. Early farmers were probably still hunting and gathering to supplement their diet, but for the first time, they had a somewhat reliable food source they could control. Why did this happen? Scientists have a few theories. Some think climate change after the last ice age made certain areas perfect for growing grains. Others believe population growth pushed people to find more efficient ways to get food. Imagine a group realizing they could stay in one place near a river where the soil was rich and fertile. They could plant their crops, and while waiting for them to grow, they could build sturdier shelters. This simple act of planting a seed tethered humans to the land. The nomadic lifestyle that had defined our species for millennia began to fade away, replaced by something entirely new: settlement. This is where our story really gets interesting, because with permanent homes came permanent problems and ingenious solutions. With people staying in one place, communities grew larger. Small villages started to pop up. But farming is hard work. You need to clear land, till the soil, sow seeds, water the plants, and protect them from pests. It required cooperation on a scale never seen before. People had to work together. And with a stable food supply, not everyone had to be a farmer. This is a crucial point. For the first time, some individuals could specialize in other things. You could have someone who was great at making tools, someone who was skilled at building houses, or someone who could organize and lead the community. This division of labor was the spark that ignited civilization. You see the rise of potters, weavers, and priests. Society was becoming more complex, but agriculture brought new challenges. What happens when you have a surplus of grain? You need to store it. This led to the invention of pottery and granaries. How do you keep track of who owns what? You need a system of writing and record keeping. The earliest forms of writing, like cuneiform in Mesopotamia, were actually developed to track grain harvests and trade. That's right, writing was invented for accounting. And with stored wealth comes another problem: people who want to take it. This led to the need for defense, for walls, for soldiers. The first villages grew into the first towns, and eventually, into the first cities. Agriculture didn't just change our diet, it created the very structure of our modern world. From the Fertile Crescent, agriculture spread like wildfire. But interestingly, it didn't just happen once. Around the same time, people in different parts of the world independently started farming. In China, they domesticated rice along the Yangtze River. In the Americas, people in Mesoamerica were cultivating maize, beans, and squash. In the Andes, it was potatoes and quinoa. And in New Guinea, they farmed taro root. It seems that all around the globe, humans were simultaneously discovering this revolutionary way of life. Each region adapted farming to its own unique environment and crops, creating a diverse tapestry of agricultural traditions. This global agricultural revolution set the stage for the rise of great empires: the Egyptians, the Romans, the Mayans. The Han Dynasty, all of them built on a foundation of surplus food grown by farmers. The evolution didn't stop there. For thousands of years, farming was powered by human and animal muscle. A farmer with an ox and a plow could cultivate more land than one with a simple hoe, leading to greater yields. The Romans developed crop rotation, realizing that planting different crops in a field each year kept the soil healthy. In the Middle Ages, new inventions like the heavy plow and the horse collar transformed European agriculture, allowing them to farm the dense clay soils of the north. These innovations slowly but surely increased food production, allowing populations to grow and cities to expand. Trade routes developed to move food and other goods between regions. Spices from the east, grains from Egypt. The world was becoming interconnected, all thanks to farming. Then, in the last couple of hundred years, agriculture went through another massive transformation: the Industrial Revolution. The invention of the steam engine led to tractors and combine harvesters. Suddenly, one farmer could do the work of 100. Chemistry brought us artificial fertilizers and pesticides, which dramatically increased crop yields. This was the Green Revolution of the mid-20th century. Scientists like Norman Borlaug developed high-yield, disease-resistant varieties of wheat, saving millions of lives from famine. We learned how to breed plants and animals for specific traits: cows that produce more milk, corn with more kernels. The amount of food we can produce today is staggering, something our hunter-gatherer ancestors could never have even imagined. But this incredible productivity has come at a cost. Modern industrial agriculture has a huge environmental footprint. It uses vast amounts of water, contributes to soil erosion, and relies heavily on fossil fuels. The use of pesticides and fertilizers can pollute our rivers and harm wildlife. And our global food system has made us dependent on just a handful of staple crops, reducing biodiversity and making our food supply vulnerable to disease or climate change. We've gone from the incredible dietary diversity of our hunter-gatherer ancestors to a world where just 3 crops, rice, maize, and wheat, provide more than half of all calories consumed by humans. It's a paradox. We've never produced more food, yet we face new and complex challenges to feeding the world sustainably. So what's next for agriculture? We're on the brink of another revolution. We're seeing the rise of precision agriculture, using GPS, drones, and sensors to apply water and fertilizer only where they're needed, minimizing waste. We have vertical farms in the middle of cities, growing leafy greens under LED lights with 95% less water than traditional farming. And genetic engineering holds the promise of creating crops that are more nutritious, drought-resistant, and don't require harmful pesticides. The story of agriculture is the story of human ingenuity. From a simple seed planted 12,000 years ago to the high-tech farms of tomorrow, we have constantly been innovating to solve the most fundamental challenge of all: feeding ourselves. It's a journey that has shaped our bodies, our societies, and our entire planet. From nomadic hunters to urban city dwellers, our relationship with food defines who we are. The next time you sit down for a meal, take a moment to think about the incredible journey that food took to get to your plate. It's a story thousands of years in the making. What do you think the future of food will look like? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. See you next time.